Hi. Now I'm going to show you how to UV unwrap this thing. We're going to go to UV editing, click new, select UV grid, and hit OK. This is going to give us our first texture. And let me see. On this side of the screen, press dot on the numpad, and that way we're going to focus on the object right here. You can UV unwrap here if you want. I'm just going to go to the layout and do it here. I just find it easier. Before we get to do some things over here, I'm going to click on the material, create a new one. I click plus, create a new one, and I'm going to call this UVs. I'm going to hit right where it says base color, click on this yellow dot and select image texture. Select the drop down and click on untitled. Select A to select everything and hit assign. To see this texture, we're gonna click hold on C and select the material preview, and you can see that the material does not look very good. We should be seeing squares all over the thing, and this is what we are going to be doing right now. Right, so hit tab and hit 2 on the keyboard so that we can select edges, and let's select this entire edge around this area. I'm going to select, click alt click on that edge. That way we can select the edges surrounding this face. Right click on them, and then we're gonna mark them as a seam. That way we're gonna create a seam all over on this side. We're gonna do the same thing on this other side over here. Alt click, right click, and then mark it as a seam. And I'm gonna make some seams over here as well. This one, click on that one, mark a seam. Click on this one and mark it as a seam. We had some texture at the bottom. Now what I want to do is select everything, press U and hit unwrap. That way it's gonna look much nicer. I mean, we can still do better. Now we're gonna move on to the UV editing screen. By the way, over here, if you want to see the texture, once again, this is holding C and down material preview. And we can see the parts as they would be laid out on a 2D plane and the 3D side. So I'm gonna hit 3 on the keyboard to be able to select faces, and you can see them on the UV side. And on the right side of the screen, I'm gonna hit N on the numpad to get a vertical view, and I want to keep this as make these ones as square as possible. So I'm gonna click on any of the faces, then hit Control L, and that way I'm selecting all the faces connected to it in the 2D side. Hit 7 to go back to vertical view. Now on the left side of the screen, I want to select A, and I'm selecting all the faces that I'm selecting on the right side, and I'm gonna press SY, no, SX, to get a more square-like shape. About that is fine. If you want to leave it just as rectangles, that's gonna be barely noticeable. It really depends on the texture you're gonna use. And now I'm gonna go to do the same thing for this one. Actually, this one is already looking nice, these two sides. I'm gonna do it for the bottom, even though the bottom is not gonna be very visible. If you press 7, you get the top. If you press Ctrl 7, you're gonna get the bottom side. Now on the left side, hit A and SX. Actually now SY, and that way I get more square shapes, so that I don't get any kind of stretching on a texture when I'm trying to texture this. That way, if you want, you can rearrange this thing to fit the whatever kind of texture you want. The important thing is that they are not overlapping. If they are overlapping, you're gonna be creating lighting issues, and it's not gonna look very good. So just make sure they are not overlapping, and we're done.